Okay. Alright, so, welcome back. Yet, last week we talked about stereotypes, right? What was an example of a stereotype? Women and men what? Different. Okay, such as? Cooking. Shopping. So what was the stereotype about shopping?
Women always shop. Want to shopping and men hate shopping.
Okay, great. So women love shopping, men hate shopping. Is this stereotype true? Okay. Maybe it's based on some truth, right? It's true. Some women love shopping. Some women hate shopping. Some men love shopping. Some men hate shopping. Okay. So, of course, stereotypes are not the truth, but again, they're a common idea that people have, right? So, today we're going to talk about archetypes. Archetypes are similar to stereotypes, but instead of being a common idea that people have, they're generally based on an example of something. Some kind of example. So, first, we're going to listen to two people talking about archetypes. And yes, unfortunately, I'm one of them talking about archetypes. So, please listen and take notes. And I want you to especially listen for the different types of archetypes that we talk about. Also, I try to explain more what an archetype is. And as I was talking about before the break, where we find archetypes, in what kind of mediums. So please listen, take notes, and while you're taking notes, try to get the examples that are given of the different types of archetypes, where they're seen, and what they are like. Okay? So please listen and take notes.
Now, let's talk about a subject similar to stereotypes, archetypes. However, unlike stereotypes, archetypes do not exist everywhere in the world. Archetypes instead exist in one very particular place, the story. Perhaps because it is difficult for writers to create unique characters, we tend to see the same kind of characters again and again and again in films, TV shows, books, novels, etc. So today we're going to talk about two common examples of character archetypes. Both are two common female archetypes, which are opposites of one another. The first is the femme fatale, who is usually the quote-unquote evil female character. She is often beautiful and mysterious, and often dresses in black or in scandalous clothes to seduce and control men. She is often the character that the more naive hero will fall in love with, and who will be manipulated by her to do evil things that he would not normally do. This character typically lies, cheats, and steals. And while she may kill people in a story, it's never done overtly. She'll use poison or manipulate someone else to end someone's life. I think in Turkish cinema, you have this idea and you call this character like a vamp, right?
Yeah.
Like the character who seduces the ignorant village hero and corrupts him in the big city, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the opposite of the femme fatale is the good girl. And in Turkey, we have an actress who so commonly played this kind of character that her name is synonymous with this character archetype, Türkan Şoray.
So who is Türkan Şoray?
For example, In Yeşilçam, Turkish cinema, she always played the pure, innocent, romantic interest of the hero. She never kissed in films, never showed nudity. In fact, in Turkish cinema, people talk about Türkan Şoray rules. In other words, like the actress never does anything immoral.
Right, so unlike the femme fatale, she's not using sex to manipulate men.
No, never.
Of course, we're talking about really common film archetypes, but these same kind of characters exist in television shows, in books, in novels, in comic books, in really any type of fictional medium you can think of. But the important thing is that the character archetype is a character that kind of always stays the same, even if you go from medium to medium, from say film to cinema, or from a novel to a comic book. It'd be superheroes and supervillains, or the classic good guy, bad guy. I mean, James Bond is one of the most famous character archetypes. I don't know, can you think of any other really famous character archetypes in Turkish cinema or television?
Maybe Kadir İnanır.
What does he do?
He's a hero character. He's a strong, tough guy, Turkish man.
Exactly, like some kind of strong, tough guy. I mean, Rambo is a total archetype, the tough guy.
Okay, I'll play this one more time.
Now, let's talk about a subject similar to stereotypes, archetypes. However, unlike stereotypes, archetypes do not exist everywhere in the world. Archetypes instead exist in one very particular place, the story. Perhaps because it is difficult for writers to create unique characters, we tend to see the same kind of characters again and again and again in films, TV shows, books, novels, etc. So today we're going to talk about two common examples of character archetypes. Both are two common female archetypes, which are opposites of one another. The first is the femme fatale, who is usually the quote-unquote evil female character. She is often beautiful and mysterious, and often dresses in black or in scandalous clothes to seduce and control men. She is often the character that the more naive hero will fall in love with, and who will be manipulated by her to do evil things that he would not normally do. This character typically lies, cheats, and steals. And while she may kill people in a story, it's never done overtly. She'll use poison or manipulate someone else to end someone's life. I think in Turkish cinema, you have this idea and you call this character like a vamp, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like the character who seduces the ignorant village hero and corrupts him in the big city, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the opposite of the femme fatale is the good girl. And in Turkey, we have an actress who so commonly played this kind of character that her name is synonymous with this character archetype, Türkan Şoray.
So who is Türkan Şoray?
For example, in Yeşilçam, Turkish cinema, she always played the pure, innocent, romantic interest of the hero. She never kissed in films, never showed nudity. In fact, in Turkish cinema, people talk about Türkan Şoray rules. In other words, like the actress never does anything immoral.
Right, so unlike the femme fatale, she's not using sex to manipulate men.
No, never.
Of course, we're talking about really common film archetypes, but these same kind of characters exist in television shows, in books, in novels, in comic books, in really any type of fictional medium you can think of. But the important thing is that the character archetype is a character that kind of always stays the same. Even if you go from medium to medium, from say film to cinema, or from a novel to a comic book. It'd be superheroes and supervillains, or the classic good guy, bad guy. I mean, James Bond is one of the most famous character archetypes. I don't know, can you think of any other really famous character archetypes in Turkish cinema or television?
Maybe Kadir İnanır.
What does he do?
He's a hero character. He's a strong, tough guy, Turkish man.
Exactly, like some kind of strong, tough guy. I mean, Rambo is a total archetype, the tough guy.
Okay. So, first let's talk about the medium of archetypes. In this conversation, where did we discuss archetypes? Where do we find archetypes? Where were they? Film, novels, books, cinema, TV shows. Anything else? Comic books. Great. And what are all of these mediums? What kind of medium are they? All of these things. Film, TV shows, novels, comic books. What are they?
Story. Any type of the functional media.
What's the word?
Fictional.
Fictional. All right, what does fictional mean? Not real. Someone also said they are all what? They're all types of stories. Great. They're all types of stories. So, we're talking about fiction, right? We're talking about characters in fiction, whether it be film, TV shows, books, comic books, right? These are all stories, right? Fictional mediums. Okay? So, we're talking about characters in fictional mediums. What kind of archetypes did we discuss? Great, female archetypes. Right? 2 female archetypes. 2 common female archetypes. Great. What was the first type? Okay, evil. Femme fatale. Great. So, femme fatale, of course, comes from French. So, this is kind of an evil character, right? I said quote unquote, right? In most films, she's, kind of like the bad character. Okay, so tell me about the femme fatale.
She is beautiful and she is very dangerous. She wants to control men.
Okay, she's beautiful.
And often dressed lady.
I didn't say she always wears dresses. She always dresses in black. Right? She dresses in black. Not serious. Okay, she controls men.
She kills with love.
Hold on. What else does she do? Great. She often lies, cheats, and steals. What else?
She kills men with love.
Reduce control man.
Okay, so I said if she kills someone, how does she do it?
Control man.
Kill people. Use poison.
Okay, so poison or something that's kind of more subtle. Oftentimes she doesn't directly kill a character, but she maybe controls someone, manipulates someone into killing a character. So how does she control men? Okay, great. The hero falls in love with her. She seduces. She seduces the hero. Okay? So, seduces, seduction. So, to seduce someone is to basically make someone interested in something, to make them do something. So, I can seduce you with money. Here's $1 million. If you do this for me, you can have $1 million. So, she's not seducing men with money. What is she seducing them with? Love. Okay.
Herself.
Sorry?
Herself.
Herself, yeah. She's beautiful. She's seducing men with her beauty and with sex, love. So, she seduces men and then she manipulates them. What does manipulate mean? Great, control. To manipulate someone is to control someone. You make them do what you want. So, just as an example, okay, so here's a picture of kind of a classic femme fatale, right? I don't want to do that. I do want to show her, but not yet. Okay, so, where is she? Can you tell? Where is she sitting? What kind of place is she sitting? A bar, right? She's sitting at a bar, she's smoking, right? The guy's like, So, right, she's dark, she's beautiful, she's mysterious. Okay? Blonde, okay? Again, it's kind of another example. Femme fatale, beautiful, dressed in black. Okay, so she seduces, she manipulates. Who? In films. What was the example we gave? Who does she generally seduce? Who generally falls in love with the femme fatale? The hero. Great. Where is the hero from? Right now, where is the hero from? From public? Okay, kind of. Okay, is the hero from the big city? Okay, not all the time, but oftentimes there's a very common plot, okay? You have the hero, the young man, he's honest, hardworking, good guy, from the country, from the village, from a rural area, right? And where does he go? City. He goes to the big city. He goes to the big city and he meets, right, a femme fatale, right? He's a little bit naive, right? He's good, but he's naive, right? He goes to the big city, right? And he gets lost in the big city, right? He gets manipulated by the femme fatale, right? He often falls in love with the femme fatale. Okay, so this was the first example. What was the second example, which is the opposite of the femme fatale? Okay, the good girl. And what was the example given of the good girl archetype? Okay, Turkan Sharai. So she's an actress, right? And what did she say about Turkan Sharai and this kind of character? Okay, but first, if you think Turkan Sharai and you think this character, the good girl, what are they? No, the good girl and Turkan Sharai, what are they? Because the good girl is a character, it's an archetype. Turkan Sharai is a real person. But what did these two become?
Rudolph Turkan Sharai.
What did they become?
Rule of control.
Great. What's the word? Two words are similar to one another? Synonym, right? So this actress and this archetype became synonymous. If you think Türkan Şoray, you think, oh, she's the good girl in the film. They became synonymous with each other. She actually kind of helped to create the character, to create the archetype. So, what did she not do in films? Great, never kisses. What else? Never shows.
She does not use sex.
Okay, she doesn't use sex. Good. What does she never show? Okay, so she never shows nudity. So, if you're not wearing any clothes, if you have no clothes on, you are naked or nude. Okay? If you don't have clothes on, you're naked or nude. But you could also say, for example, well, I'm not really dressed to explain this, but you could say my hand. My hand is naked. There's no clothes on my hand, right? If I were to pull up my sleeve, I would say my arm is naked. Okay? This is nudity. Okay? Of course, when we talk about nudity, we're not generally talking about like hands, but if you think about the clothes that like the good girl wears and the clothes that the femme fatale wears. So, the femme fatale is going to be wearing what? So what kind of dress would the femme fatale wear?
Black skin.
Okay, probably black, but what else? What kind of shape is it going to have on top? Open, right? It's going to be like a V, right? It's going to be open, right? She's probably also going to have a short skirt, right? She's showing lots of herself. She's showing nudity. Or maybe again in the movie she actually is naked. But again, the good girl is not showing any nudity, right? She's what? What adjectives can we use to describe her? What is she? That we said. She's, what kind of character is she? Pure, great.
Pure and romantic.
Right? She's pure, innocent, and she's the romantic interest of the hero. So, if you think about it, this happens in a lot of films. There are three main characters in the film. There is the male hero, the guy, maybe he's from the country, good guy, and there's two women, and he is in love with both of the women. One of the women is the femme fatale, the other woman is the good girl, right? He's in love with both of them. Okay? And now, depending on the film, either maybe in the end he does bad things and he dies, or in the end maybe he marries the good girl, right? It's a very classic plot. Even like right now, I've seen posters everywhere for some new film. Okay. Yeah, what's on the poster, right? There's one guy and two girls behind him, right? Okay, so it's a good girl, the romantic interest of the hero oftentimes. Okay, so we talked about these two female archetypes. After that, what did we talk about?
Two men.
Great, male characters, male archetypes. What were the examples that we gave for male? James Bond. All right, everyone knows James Bond.
And also Rambo.
So, James Bond is a character archetype that is so common that even if you go to a film that is not a James Bond film, you might still say, oh yeah, I watched this film, it's like a James Bond film. And your friends will understand what you mean. They'll understand what you mean about the character, right? Okay? What was the other archetype we talked about? Adir? Okay, how do you say that? What kind of archetype does he play? Hero? Strong? Tough guy. He's a tough guy. Right? He's a tough guy. He fights. He uses big guns. What was the other example of a character like this? Rambo, right? Like, actually, honestly, I have never seen a Rambo movie. But I just know from culture, if someone says, oh, it's a Rambo character, what that means. Okay, so again, it's a very common archetype. Okay. All right, so we talked about 2 common female archetypes, 2 common male archetypes. Now, take a moment and think about all of the films, TV shows, books that you read, comic books that you read, and think about what other kinds of archetypes there are. Okay? So, take a minute, in English, please. Talk to the person next to you, just for about 2 minutes, just really quickly. And just together brainstorm. Think about what other kind of archetypes you can think about. I mean, for example, bad guys. There's lots of different kinds of bad guys, right? Villains. In romantic films, for example, what kind of characters are there? In comedies, what kind of characters are there? In family films, what kind of characters are there? So, just take about 2 minutes, talk to the person next to you, and try to brainstorm common archetypes. Okay? So, please, in English. Just take a minute, talk to the person next to you, think about any archetypes you think. Okay? Sorry? Yeah, but you guys are sitting next to each other, so you guys can talk. You guys can talk to each other, not so archetypes? Erotage. What is the character? What's the character? Very bad man.
You eat chicken.
Hocam,
Okay, so again, we're not talking about the actor necessarily, right? We're talking about the character, what the character does. So, this character, he's always eating chicken. Okay? What else is the character doing?
He behaved or behave bad.
Bad? I mean, like, how bad? What does he do?
Kill someone.
Kill someone. Okay? He attacks girls. Okay.
Girls need help for girls become actors, but he has some dimension.
Great. Okay, so he's also trying to manipulate girls, right? He says, "Oh, I hope you become an actress. You'll be a big star." Okay. So, is he like, a dangerous bad guy, or is he more just kind of like not nice? Like he's trying to manipulate people. Like, does he kill people, or he's just trying to manipulate people? Just manipulate. Okay. Okay, great. What's another example of some kind of bad guy?
hocam coşkun.
Sorry?
Coşkun hocam. Coşkun.
Well, what's the character?
Hocam, he's a bad guy. He wants to rape the girls,
Okay.
and he is waiting the dark side, and he wants to catch the girls,
Okay.
and he goes to forest
Okay.
and doing bad things.
Okay, so actually this is another really common archetype, like a kidnapper.
Yeah.
Someone who is always like taking people. Okay. Maybe they're holding them for money. Maybe they want to rape them. But they always have different purposes. But this is a really common archetype, the kidnapper. What else?
Drugs in the
Great, so also kind of like the kidnapper archetype. It's really common, right? They put drugs in drinks. Right? Cola. Sorry?
He services to the girl.
Services to the girl.
Servis mi?
Helps? Tries to help? Gives drugs. Okay, so he puts drugs in the mineral water, gives the mineral water to young girls. Okay? Okay, again, what other kind of like archetypes are there for bad guys? What kind of bad guys are there? There's the kidnappers. What else? Hurt or kill? Kill. So what kind of like killers are there? God, I'm sure all of you watch like horror movies all the time. Okay, great. So this is a really common archetype. The bad guy, he wants to control the world. Take over the world, destroy the world, right? Okay, great. What else? Like, what about horror movies? In horror movies, what kind of bad guys are there?
We have a lot of horror films in Turkey.
Come on, you guys watch a lot of horror films.
But we watched all American movies.
Okay, so in American movies, what kind of villains are there?
Saw.
Okay, Saw. The the bad guy in Saw, what kind of character is he?
He kidnapped a lot of people.
So, there's lots of films like Saw. There's a bad guy, and what does he do?
Generally have a different kind of problem, mental or health problem. Depressive or not normal.
Great.
Or the other problem.
People are murdered.
Great. Okay, so this is a really common archetype. The kind of crazy, like serial killer, right? He kills lots of people, he's a little crazy, he has some crazy plan.
If you make the bad things in your past, so catch you and punish you.
Okay, yeah, but, okay, you're right, but we're talking about like the common characteristics of the characters.
Yeah.
But of serial killers like this.
Serial killers. Actually, so see that you care your life.
Okay, but
You have to care your life.
okay, but someone who kills many people is a serial killer.
Yeah.
There's no other way to explain it. Okay, so these are common kind of bad guys. What about in other kind of films? What kind of archetypes do we see? Like in comedies, what do we see? Okay, what kind of character is that? Okay, so is he stupid?
No.
A little. So, this is a really common archetype in comedies, right? There's a guy, he's not stupid, but he's not exactly smart. But maybe he thinks he's smart. And what does he do? He does stupid things, great, and he creates or he causes accidents, great. He oftentimes creates trouble, problems for the other characters, right? This is a really common thing. There may be two characters. There's one character who's like the good friend, and then his friend is the guy who's a little bit stupid, who's always causing problems for both of them. And then there are like Mr. Bean characters, right? Someone who's kind of so ignorant that, or so, not stupid, but they see the world in such a different way, right, that the whole film is about them interacting with the world.
Actually, comedy films criticize something.
Great.
Politics, maybe religion, they criticize.
Great. Oftentimes in comedy films, the characters are made to criticize something, right? Like the greedy politician, right? Or the stupid politician. Okay? What about other really common things you see? How about in romantic movies?
Rich girl, poor man.
Great. Rich girl, poor boy. Right? So, the poor boy, tell me about him. What does he usually do? Honest. What else? The poor boy. He's honest.
Tough boy.
Hardworking.
Tough boy.
Tough. Honorable.
Handsome.
Handsome. Yeah, he's always handsome too. Maybe.
Yours parents don't want.
Yeah, maybe he has a sick mother, maybe his mother's sick, he's taking care of his mother, right? He's handsome, and who does he always meet? Who does he meet? The rich girl. What's the rich girl like? Beautiful.
She's rich.
Okay, she's rich, but...
Always blue.
Okay, blonde oftentimes. In the beginning, how does she act?
Her parents don't want them to get married.
Great, their parents, right, her parents are always against the poor boy, right? Ah, he's poor, he's
Yes.
not good for you.
He is
He's not suitable for our family. Okay?
Always they each other crush and her books.
Alright? No, I think to say it again.
They crush and her books full of
Great, great. So, I'm sure you have seen this in like so many films, TV shows. They're walking, they don't see each other, they hit each other, her books fall on the ground, he does what?
He
Picks them up, right? He gives them to her and they look at each other, right? Okay, you've seen this, I'm sure, like 50 times, okay? Alright? Okay, so, great. Rich boy, poor girl, rich girl, poor boy, okay? What else about, like, in families? In families.
He works in the rich girl's father's lands.
Great. Oftentimes the poor boy works for the rich girl's father. Okay. I'm going to tell you about a character. Tell me if this character is good or evil. Okay? So, there are children, and the children's mother dies. And their father marries another woman. And now they have a stepmother. Is the stepmother good or evil? Evil, right? This is a really common archetype, right? The evil stepmother. Right? She's maybe trying to kill the children. Maybe she's trying to kill the father. She wants money or something. Okay. What else? What are other kind of common archetypes? What about in school? Like high schools, universities? What kind of characters are there? Sorry?
Old character, but still possible.
Okay. Like in comedies, oftentimes there's the old character who never graduates high school. What else?
Smart boy and the popular girl.
Okay. The smart boy and the popular girl. How does the smart boy look? Glasses. Great, glasses. What kind of glasses?
big one.
Big glasses. All right. What else?
There are two groups in school. One group is very rich, other group is poor. Rich group hates others.
Great. Like the two groups in school, right? The popular, rich kids, the poor, not popular kids. Okay? Okay, so let's go back to, the smart character. He's got big glasses. What else is he? Okay, hardworking oftentimes. Alone. Yeah, he's maybe socially awkward, not very social. He can't talk to girls, right? He's like, Okay.
She always helped him.
Yeah, but she helps him or he helps her. Somehow they get together.
He will look handsome, but then you change.
Great. He never looks handsome, right? His clothes are too big or too small. His hair is messy, not handsome. But by the end of the movie, he looks good, right? Yeah. Okay, so
Only one teacher. Students love only one teacher.
Great, like the student and teacher relationship, right? The student has one teacher that's always helping the student, being the student's mentor, wise, giving advice. Okay, so I'm sorry we're out of time today. So, really important, when we're talking about archetypes, we're talking about the character, right? Not the actor or the actress, but the same character that you see again and again in films, TV shows, books. In America, it used to be the bad guy always had a big black mustache. So, you just see the character and you know he's the bad guy. And you do the just automatically, you watch a film, you see the guy with the big glasses, and you know, oh, he's the smart but not popular kid. Okay, so we'll continue to talk about this next time. Good luck this afternoon. See you on Friday.